Fortunately for a lot of young guys, it can be very, very hard to have success in dating. And it seems like every yes you get, there's like at least like 50 no's like right behind it, right? And while these are just the cards that a lot of men are dealt, it leads to very bad outcomes for guys, especially when they're young. For me, at least, lust was overcoming my thoughts for a very, very long time. You know, anytime I had a girl ghost me, or there was a bad date, or in general, like anytime an outcome happened that I didn't want, I would immediately start opening the incognito tabs. And I know that was very, very unhealthy. Not just because like it was messing with my dopamine receptors, but because it was also messing with my perception of what a relationship should actually be like. And the main reason a lot of us as young men, or even just young adults in general, will gravitate towards adult content is usually because we lack something in our personal relationships. And this is not really anything new, but the fact is that this cheap fix can really damage our brain psychologically for future relationships. So we turn to adult content for that cheap fix. And I would venture to say that for the majority of us as young men, when we would get into our first serious relationship where we actually did have sex, you notice that you weren't gravitating towards adult content at all, or at the very least not as much, because that need in your life was already being fulfilled. It's kind of like the same thing of like having a very healthy, you know, filling meal, right? You don't really feel the need to go out and get some McDonald's or whatever because you already feel great from whatever you just ate. And you know that even if you do go and eat McDonald's, it's just gonna make you feel worse in the end, because it's like, why did I need to do that? You struggle with having lustful thoughts, and this goes even beyond like adult content, but just having lustful thoughts. There can be a couple of things that you can do about this. Now, the obvious solution is just to get on NoFap and actually take the effort that you would spend watching a girl twerk on Instagram into doing actually something productive. But I feel like the majority of men already know about that, so I'll try to make this as concise as possible. If you're struggling with lust, you know, let's just start by, you know, first off, starting basics. So firstly, for me at least, I went into my Explore page, and anything that was really sexualizing, you know, any girl promoting her OnlyFans or a model or anything of that nature, or like girls posting gym content, you know exactly what I'm talking about, I would immediately hit not interested. This process does take a couple days, you know, it's not gonna be instant and then everything just like switches off from Instagram. So after about 3 or 4 days of doing this, you realize that you're not getting recommended this, and it almost feels like a cool wave as like, you know, are all of your lustful thoughts gone? No, but at the same time, there's a good chunk that have sort of disappeared almost, you know? Let's say you were having 50 lustful thoughts a day. It's now down to like 35, you know? And that's still a lot, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, you're making slow progress instead of just trying to do it all at once. So first, let's put limits on your social media use in general. Set one of those timers. I know Instagram has it where you can say like, hey, 20 minutes, it's gonna send you a notification and be like, hey, do you wanna get off the app, you know? Make sure to stick to that. Those can be very, very, very helpful in case of you trying to limit your social media time. And next up is a little bit of an obvious one, but it's to just put more effort into actually talking and forming relationships with different girls. Now, let me be very clear. Even though I just said different girls, I'm not saying you need to go out and start cold approaching 50 different girls. But at the same time, if there is a girl that you like, or a guy that you like, put the effort into actually getting to know them instead of just fantasizing about them all day, and instead of just scrolling endlessly through their Instagram and just daydreaming about like what your relationship could possibly be. Just go up and talk to them. Go up and actually DM them, see if they want to hang out. Even if there is rejection, don't use that as an excuse to start relapsing and start having more lustful thoughts. Instead, just see it as a, you know what, this isn't as bad. Let me move on. Next is to start tracking NoFap progress. Let me be very, very clear on how I say this. If you're someone who is already aware of NoFap and you're already aware that you don't need to be tracking your progress, then forget this step entirely. But if you are someone who is just starting out and you're starting to want to make the changes, it would not hurt to track progress, you know? You went through 1 week, good. Now let's make it to 2 weeks, good. Now let's make it to a month. After you make it to a month, stop tracking the progress. If you've made it to a month and you've already been able to overcome your desire to watch adult content, obviously you have the willpower and discipline to keep going. Now look, as people who are young, we are going to have lustful thoughts. It just comes with our hormones being all over the place. But I know that guilty feeling sometimes when you're like, why am I having this thought? I shouldn't be having this lustful thought over this person that I just met, you know? Are you necessarily a bad person? Absolutely not. These are completely normal. But if it starts affecting the way you actually talk and interact with people, that's when you may actually have a problem. So through these methods, you should just try to lower the thoughts a little bit. You know, going back to my previous example, let's say you have 20 lustful thoughts in a day, just as an example, right? And the next week, you only have 12. And the week after that, you only have 5. And then one day goes by, and maybe there's like a chick you check out or a guy you check out, you know? It happens still, but you realize your mind is not prioritizing like it used to be. Is this a solution that's gonna guarantee 100% success? Absolutely not. No self-improvement method can do that. It's incumbent on the effort of you as an individual. Because in the end, it is a wonderful feeling when you've done all of the things that I just said, and you actually do see some progress. It is truly a great feeling to realize that you're no longer controlled by this negative emotion. I love all of y'all for watching and making it to the end of this video, so make sure to scroll down right now, make sure to subscribe, make sure to like, make sure to turn on notifications, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Stay safe, stay smart, start taking accountability today. Peace.